Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's well and good today. I hope everyone can hear me as well. If you have any issues with audio or video, please just leave a comment and we'll try and address it. Welcome to part one of our multi-part series, Tech Support, Getting Work Done from Home. We decided to organize this series to help members who are now trying to work from home. We know it may be difficult. It's a huge change from usually being at the office. So we decided, okay, we'll go try and show some basic things that can be done so that members can work from home with more ease. So today is part one. So part one will help you with client intake. We'll try and show you how you can have a registration of your clients easily be done online. And then we'll also show you how to collaborate on documents with staff, legal assistants, and clients. Part two, which I think will be done next week. Once we finalize the dates, the checklist will be out. Part two will focus on PDFs. So we'll show you how to create bundles of authorities or bundles of documents and even exhibits for affidavits. We'll show you how to paginate, split the PDFs, merge, sign, and all those things related to PDFs. Part three will focus on mobile working. So the webinar will explore the use of cloud computing and working solely on your mobile and tablet. So our main speaker for today is Ms. Melissa Lim. She's on screen with me now. So I'll start with a brief introduction of Ms. Melissa. So Melissa Lim is the sole proprietor of Melissa Lim and Associates, and she's a legal tech advocate. She has advised on disputes arising from commercial transactions, including e-commerce, and specializes in startups. With regards to championing the legal tech cause in Malaysia, her latest pet project is the Malaysian Lawyers and Tech Discord server, which allows space for lawyers to learn about tech tips from each other. At the end of the webinar, Melissa will show you her Discord as well. So if you want to know how Discord works, you can stay on as well. However, because we want to show you how to collaborate on documents, so we will also have assistants on board. Let me introduce our assistants for today, who should appear now. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning.
We have our first assistant, Fadil Ihsan, or more fondly known as Dale. He's obviously our bar rep, and you'd have seen him in most of our webinars. Our second assistant is Mr. Imran Ismail. He's a partner at Melanie. He is the main speaker for part two, so I'll give you the full intro of Mr. Imran when we have part two. So for now, he will help all of us today and show you how to collaborate on the documents. So as usual, if you have any questions throughout the whole webinar, please feel free to just drop a comment on whichever platform you're watching from, be it Facebook or YouTube, and we'll be able to see your comments. And at the end of the webinar, when we have the Q&A session, I will bring up the questions to Melissa or Imran or Dale, whoever you want to ask a question to, and they will try and answer to the best of their abilities. If we don't have an answer, maybe we'll deal with it in part two, but we'll try, we promise. For CPD points, please make sure you stay till the end. We will have a link, which is the form you have to fill up as usual. So you have to stay till the end for your points. With that, I believe the floor is yours, Melissa. Please.
Thank you very much, Alice. Thank you very much, Jehovah, for inviting me. I think let's get started. Without further ado, it's Saturday morning, so thank you very much for tuning in. I will be showing you, first of all, I'll be showing you how to create a Google form for client intake, and and this will hopefully help you with the DCR reporting as well. We will be using Google because it is a very powerful collaborative tool to use, and it is probably something that you are using as well. So let's get started. This will be how your Google Drive will look like. This is a new account, so it is empty. But if you do have a Google account already, then you will see folders and files just like this. So we can start with clicking new folder. Let's say this, I will just name it or Johor Bar Talk, right? This can be named with your client's name or your file reference number is entirely up to you, or it can be admin. because this is where you will store your Google Forms. And what your Google Form will do will actually create another folder within this this new folder that you've just created. So I think you just got to watch what we will do in this workshop and then decide for yourself how do you name this particular folder and where do you want to put it in, because that will be entirely up to your workflow within your company, right? So we start by clicking new here on the left side, new, and Google Forms. So this is how Google Forms look like. It's actually a very powerful tool. There are a few ways that you can use Google Form for. You can click at the settings here, this gear here. I think it's covered by the logo, so I'll just show it here. This one, click it, and you will see that there are three tabs here. You can create quizzes. You can make this into a quiz where you can have like a answer sheet at the end. But for client intake, you don't actually need this. You can actually just use the general form. So this is what we have when you click create Google Form. You can rename this client intake. This is a description. Most of the time, what I would do is I will put in my firm's name. So you can enter your firm's name here, and then your contact details. So maybe an email and maybe a phone number. This is so that if there are any problems from your clients on filling up the form, they will be able to contact you and tell you, hey, I have a problem, about this particular question. Can you help me with it? So it's very important for you to have these contact details in the Google Form. And the first question would be, hang on. Okay, so the first question will probably be, are you a company or individual? Right, because the way you think this through is like when you are drafting an agreement, it's always cause and effect, right? So the first thing that you need to do is to identify whether it's a company or an individual, because the two different entities will require two different sets of documents that you will need from the client. So first thing you will need to know is whether they're a company or individual. Give them an option to pick. So let's say company, individual. Required, there was actually an extension, like an add-on to the form where you can create all required questions, but I think the add-on has been removed. So you have to manually click this particular button here, which is required, so that your client cannot just skip this question. They have to fill it up. So let's say now, when you click company, right? Look at this symbol here. It says add section. So click this add section and name this section as company. So what happens is that when somebody answers company, you will want them to jump to this section. But if somebody clicks individual, if your client is an individual and he clicks on individual, you'll want him to go to the individual section. So this is how you gotta think, or when you click on sections on how you create this Google Form, you gotta think about, okay, if this person clicks this particular part, where do you want them to go? So once you've created both sections, because we only have two different type of clients here, click on these three buttons, okay, and click go to section based on answer. And then this part will come out and you will be able to identify properly. So what this means is that if a person clicks company, they will be brought to this section 3, which is for company. Okay, So what do you need from an individual client? Let's say, of course, the very first thing that you will need is their full name, right? So full name as per NRIC. And obviously, okay, you will see that Google will actually automatically update the type of the question answer based on what you have written here. So if it changes to short answer text, I think that's fine. If it changes to paragraph, that's fine too. But if it changes to something else, you can actually click this button on the right, and it will show the different options that you have. So you can click on the one that is most suitable. So I think for full name, a short answer is suffice. So just remember to click required because the add-on has been removed. I hope that they have it again soon. So second thing that you will need to know is nationality, right? So you see how it changes to short answer. This is not something that we want because we know specifically what we want the client to answer. I just want to know whether you are Malaysian or you are non-Malaysian. So if let's say they are non-Malaysian and you need like extra documents, you can actually create another section for it, but I will not be doing it here now because it may be a bit too complicated. So let's just stick to this nationality first. I mean this short form first, and then we can add on to it in the more advanced class later. So nationality, and the next one you want to know is the NRIC number. Okay, so NRIC number is interesting because it can be short answer, but you want to make sure that they put in that exact numbers, right? Instead of just writing, let's say, A, B, C, D, E, you know, we wouldn't want them to answer that. So what you do is go to the this menu sign again and click response validation. So response validation will allow you to choose whether you want the answer to be in number form, text, the length of the answer, and regular expression. So of course for NRIC, you would want it to be number. And I don't think we will need any of this, but what we need is whole number, right? It's either whole number or is number. So meaning that the answer is a number or the answer is a whole number. So I would put just whole number. And if let's say that person keys in alphabets instead, they will have an error text. So you know how when you fill in forms online, they will show you, please answer in numbers, you know, something like that. But what you can do is you can also create a custom error text. So instead of something that Google warns them, you can actually add your own warning sign. So let's say you can say, please don't insert dash. Because normally when people enter NRIC, they will enter dash, right? So because our answer needs to be only in number form, they can't enter the dash. So we know our client, right? We know that sometimes they will enter dash, but Google doesn't know it. So Google's warning text will probably just be please insert numbers, which people may not understand it as without dash, you know. So you can have this on. And the next one, of course, after you ask for the NRIC, you would want them to upload their IC, right? So how do you do that? This is where you can, not add image. This is where you can come to this side again, multi-choice, and click on file upload. So this means that you want them to upload something onto the Google form. Okay, so let's click. Let's see. And you can click on only allow specific file types because you want to make sure that you control their behavior. You want to make sure that the things that they upload is correct, because otherwise you may spend a bit more time troubleshooting that, right? So click on PDF or image because normally that's what it is, right? They either take a picture of their IC or they scan it and put it on PDF. So it's either PDF or image that you want. I think that maximum files, you can have it at 5 because sometimes some people have their IC front as one image and then back as a second image. So you wouldn't want it to be just one file. I think 5 is sufficient. This maximum file size is quite important, but I think for IC it's okay. You can have it at 10 MB and do quick click required. I will show you this folder later when I show you the responses as well. And the next thing that you need is gender. These are all actually yeah. So you see how Google Form suggests this. So you can actually just click on what you want to add. So Google is actually easy that way because they will suggest for you, and then you can click, and then they will change this automatically for you as well. So the questions that I have here are actually required by in the DCR report. So that is why it will take some time for me to put this. So if you follow this workshop and you create step by step as how I'm creating right now, it should be useful for you for your DCR report. Email address. So again, you see how email address, you can click response validation again and click text and contains email. So with this, Google will actually ensure that it has a valid email like @something.com. So I don't think that you need a custom error text for that because there is no special so-called special client behavior that you will need to watch out for when it comes to email. I think that's pretty standard. And lastly, I think this is a little complicated. This will be something that you will need to ask about whether they have been entrusted with prominent public function. And what I feel that it is useful is if you click on this multiple choice and you click on multiple choice grid. So what this will essentially show is, I will just demo. So let's say the first question is, I have been entrusted with a prominent public function, right? You wouldn't ask them whether you're PEP because they don't know what is PEP. So if you look at the definition of PEP, they will say that, if you have been entrusted with a prominent public function. So maybe you can put this in. If you think that there is a better way to phrase it, you can put it in yourself. So first of all, you may want to ask whether your client is a PEP, right? And secondly, whether his family members have been entrusted with prominent public function. And thirdly, whether a close associate of theirs have been entrusted with public function. I'm sorry, you can't see everything here right now, but I can actually just show it here. The full sentence is actually this. So a close associate of mine has been entrusted with a prominent public function, right? And then what you do is, in this column, you put yes and no. I'll just show you how it looks like. Anytime that you want to see how your form looks like, you can click preview and it will show you how it will look like. So let's say I am an individual, okay? And this is the form that I will look at, uploading an IC. And this is how the multi-grid will look like. So I have been entrusted. If yes, click yes, and then no, no. So this is how you will be able. It will help you in your DCR because you will be able to segregate your clients. And then if let's say that he answered all yes or even one yes, then you will be able to investigate further. Now, the problem that I find is that a lot of people may not know what does close associate mean. I mean, yeah, a lot of people may not know what is close associate, right? So what you can do is you can actually add an image. There are two ways that you can do this. First, you can create a description, which I think that you can create a description, but I'm not sure whether your client would read it. So you can say something like this: close associate is number, etc. So if you click on preview again, you will see that the description comes up here. But I'm not sure whether people will read it. So normally what I would do is I would include an image. Just give me a minute. You can easily create this image even using Paint. So no worries about that. Yeah. Sorry. sorry. Don't click here, click here. This part here in the middle. Because the one on the right actually creates another question. Yeah. So the image will appear here and they will be able to, read it and then put in the columns. So if you view the form again, if you preview the form again, yeah, you will be able to see this. So they will see an image that they may read. I think a lot of people are more visual these days. So they will probably read this first before they answer these questions here. You can only do your best, right? So yeah, this is, I think this is quite enough for individual clients. Let's go to company now. So what would you need from a company? Probably first thing is company name for SSM, right? So I wouldn't enter like just numbers here because a lot of companies still have that alphabet. Yeah, and also sometimes they don't even know that that's the company number anymore. So type of entity can have Seram Berhad. Okay. If you don't want any, you can just remove. You can actually add images on each and every one as well, but I think that is not necessary lah, unless it is something that's more complicated like the one just now about close associates. You can put a description here about industry, whether you want, how you want the answer format to be. And the next one would be upload your company forms, right? So what kind of company forms? You will have to state it here. Description. Again, come here and click File Upload. Allow specific types. This time I would say document, PDF, and image would be would be the more accurate type of file types that you would want. And I would say the maximum would be 10. If they need more, because sometimes their forms is too big, right? And they themselves, so you can actually put up to 1 gig here for like 10 files equals to 1 gig. But I don't think that you should, because you gotta make sure that your Google Drive have enough size as well, storage size. So let's say your Google Drive has like a maximum of 15 gig and you have 15 forms and all 15 forms use all 1 gig, then you have like 15 gig used up already. So try to minimize this. I think that 100 MB is enough. So yeah, this is the warning for us about what I said just now. If let's say a single response exceeds 1 gig, then you will not be able to accept more requests already. So response already. So I think 100 MB is okay. I think putting 10 is great because sometimes the file is too big. So some of them, they cut, like let's say their memorandum and articles of association, right? Sometimes they cut it into 2 forms. So I think 10 is good lah. Anyway, that's the maximum that they have. If they need to have more, then maybe they can email you or they can fill up another form for it. But the idea here is actually to just make things easier for you. I'm just going to make this faster so that, because this has been shown already. The last one you would need is this prominent public function. So what you can do is you don't actually need to redo this because this is a bit complicated, right? You don't need to redo this. Okay, so I'm going to delete it. What you can do is you come back here and you click this symbol. It says duplicate. So all you need to do is to duplicate it and then hold it and drag. Yeah. So of course you need to change the question a little bit because right now it's not you but the owner, right? The owner. So it's up to you how you want to rename this. I usually put this just because I think that they need a bit more details about what is owner. So yeah, you can change this as well. So yeah. So you can change this as how you would like. And then you will need to ask about the person in charge. Okay. It's in your description. I'm just going to copy this because the description is the same. So what you need is the nationality. The reason why I'm not copying the rest is because it's faster if I type rather than if I copy and then I drag it. Right. I think we are at the last few already. You need the letter of authorization. Don't worry about the warning that is shown just now because it's just because I put 1 gig up there just now. So you will need the letter of authorization. So it could be any of these. Why Google change it for me? So yeah, this is how you create the Google form. Let's just preview this. Okay, I think this is what I need. So it's not something that is that covers entirely what you need for the CR because it doesn't cover like the extensive investigation that you will need to do if let's say they are PEP. So, but it is a starting point because what Google Form will do is it will create this a folder that have all of the company forms, all of the IC and everything that you will need, and you will have a digital copy right away. So this is like a Tai Chi thing, so you don't need to get a hard copy from your client and then you need to scan it in and then put it into whatever storage that you have. So you have now given that power to your client to do that. I'm going to show how it will look like. So what you do is, now that you're happy with your form, go to send, okay, and come here, okay, copy this form, and then you can send it to your client. So I'm going to send this to Dale and Imran because for them to help me to fill it up. And then once they fill it up, we will be able to see the responses here. Just give them a minute. Okay, just give them a minute to fill it out. Thank you very much for helping. So one of them, I think Dale will be the company, and then Imran will be the individual, filling up as the individual and the company. And they will, and once they fill it out, it will show in these responses. Before that, I will just show. Before that, I'll just put here maximum size. I mean, if you have this storage space on your Google Drive, then you can, put it in as however much you want. But I think I'll just keep it at 1 gig. Oh no, sorry. You know why it says this? Smaller than the max size of a single response is because we have a few questions that needs uploads. So for every upload, I put it at 1 gig. So that's why if let's say there are like 4, then there would be 4 gig already, which is not something that they can do because it says maximum size here is 1 gig only. But one response could be 4 gig. So I will just put it at 10 gig. Because anyway, Google Drive's free version is 15 gig, I believe. But if you get the Google Workspace, it would be more. So yeah, let's see, there is a response here already. I'll just click into it first just to show you how it looks like. So you will see here that individual is empty because this is from Dale and Dale is filling up as a company. So if you scroll down, you will see all this here. So of course, this is not something that, of course, this will look a bit messy to you right now. So what you can do is you can click on this button here. It looks like a Excel sheet symbol, right? Wait, I'll just zoom in so that you can see. Yeah, I probably should have zoomed in just. Yeah, it's better now, I think. So click on this, create spreadsheet. That's great. They will actually rename this for you when you put the questions, but I'll just, it will automatically update on actually. Okay, so this is the Google Sheet that Google Form will automatically create for you. I'm going to unshow now so that you can see everything. The reason why these are all empty is because it is for the individual client. So as we do with Excel sheet, right? You can actually just create a filter. This will be a one-time thing. You just need to format this Excel sheet one time, and then it should be sufficient for you already. Because it will just update on this Excel sheet, you see. So you don't need to worry. So this looks a bit ugly because the question is quite long. What you can do is you can hide all of these. So let's say your client is a company and you see the company name here, right? Okay. Now, where do you find the, let's say this company form? They will give you a link. You just need to open it. Okay. I wonder what picture they'll post up. Wow. Good picture. So yeah, this is Dale's company form. Okay, we have another response here, which is individual, right? So you see how this is all, okay, this is from Imran. Sorry, it's taking a bit time to do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a sample of a company form, right? So what happens now is, oh, I'm sorry. I think Imran said that the individual link went automatically to company. I think I made a mistake there. Just let me troubleshoot this a little bit. Ah, I get it. Okay, sorry. So at the end here, after this, sorry, let me backtrack because so I will just read out what Imran said. Imran said that after finishing individual, after he filled in as an individual, okay, meaning that after he filled in all of these, there is a next button here. So when you click next, I'm just going to show how it looks like. Okay, I can do this one. Okay, sure. You see how this one, yeah, you see the warning here is must be a valid email. So please don't try this because it's just, yeah, it's just for a sample. So after you click this in, you wouldn't want them to click next and then go to company, right? So what you need to do is you need to click here, okay, at the end, sorry, let me just go back up. This is individual. So scroll to the end. If this is your last question, you would want them to go to submit form. Yeah, sorry, I overlooked that. So submit form. But if it is the company, you don't need that because it's already the end of the section. So it will automatically ask you to submit. So if I refresh this now, okay, and I go to individual, you will see that after the last question, it goes to submit instead of next. So just now it was next because I made that mistake, right? So again, like I said in the beginning, you have to think about it in a cause and effect kind of way, just like how you draft an agreement, right? There must be a starting and there must be an ending. So if let's say this is the situation already, then what do you want them to do after that event occur? Okay, so yeah, you want them to submit form. So that's how you see this. So if let's say I come back to my Google Drive now, okay. So remember, this is the folder that we created just now. Yeah, so this is the intake form. This is the responses, the Excel sheet that we created just now, which is a Google Sheet. And then this is the file response. So this is where all of your scanned copies would be. So the letter of authorization, the NRIC, the NRIC of your client, and the company forms. So this is where you can find the folders that they have, the files that they have uploaded. Okay, so that is how you create the Google form. So let me just quickly show you.
Melissa, sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
You know the folders just now, it won't be by client in that sense. It'll be by type of document, is it?
You mean this one?
Yeah, the images, yes.
Yeah, because it's actually created by the Google form itself. So what I would think is you don't actually need to look at this. You can come here, okay,
Okay.
and then click on the link here. So let's say you want your 1MDB Berhad client, right? So go
Yeah.
to go to this client's row, and then click on the Google Drive here,
Okay.
and it will link you directly to the picture,
To the
to
exact
the
document.
drive, yeah, document.
All right. Thank you.
You can download it or you can organize. So you can click organize, and you can put it into whichever folder that you have in your Google Drive later on. So if you have a specific client folder, you can put it in there. Yeah. Okay, so are there any more questions for Google Form, or I will move to Google Doc?
I think for now we can move to Google Docs.
Okay, thanks. So let's say for Google Docs, all right, so this is the same folder that we are going to work on. So let's say now I create a Google Docs. Let's say I have an agreement that I want to, an affidavit that I want to create with my client, right? And I need some input from them. What I would do is, sorry, I think we have like 15 more minutes, right?
Oh no, it's okay. We'll
It's okay.
extend it. Don't worry.
Okay. No, because okay, can. So if it is so, let's say this is the affidavit that we want to create.
Sorry, do you want to show how we got to Google Docs for some members they are not familiar?
Sure. So
Yes.
you can click New again, and you can click Google Docs here. Actually, anything that you want from Google, right? You can just click Add here, or you can Google Docs. Yeah, but this would be a better way. Why I say click the plus sign is because you can go into any folder that you want. Let's say this is your client's folder, right? Just say client 0038 of your file reference. So you can click on into the Google into the folder that you want the Google Doc to be at, and then click new. Yeah, instead of organizing it later, which will take some time. Okay. So affidavit, how we do affidavit? I'm going to pull up a sample. Sorry, just let me pull out a sample here. So after you created a Google Doc, you can type in as usual. The way Google Doc works is just like Microsoft Word, but it's simpler, that's all. So let's say you are used to keyboard shortcuts like Control C and Control V, right? Control C for copy and Control V for paste. You can do the same. So I click Control C here, and then I click Control V. Sorry, it's taking some time. Yeah, so you see how it gets pasted here? It's because all of the keyboard shortcut for Microsoft Word can essentially be used here. Just like Control B for Bangkok, right, which is to bold and unbold. If I click Control B here, yeah, this is how it shows. So you can see at the top here, I think I kept using my finger, I'm so sorry. I should use my mouse. So look up here. I'm going to zoom so that you can see the top part. Okay. So see this top part here, you will see someone here. This is Dale. This is Dale. So what you do is you click share. How Dale came in, right? You click share. Okay. And click copy. So then copy. So you can just paste this link to your clients. And when you paste it to your clients, they will come in and they will request access, and you just need to click yes. Also, what will make it easier is if you add their Gmail in. So ask them for their email address, put it in here, and then they can automatically access this particular document. So once they can access, you can do a lot of things with it actually. First thing is you can allow them to edit, suggest, or view. Why suggest is because by clicking suggest, it is actually track changes. So if let's say I click something here, it will show like this in green, because this will actually this is actually track changes in Google Docs like Microsoft Word. And me, as the law firm owner, right, as the lawyer, right, I will look at this and then I will be able to resolve it, either to accept or to reject. If I reject, it will be removed, just like track changes. If I accept it, then it will be accepted. So it works exactly like track changes. Yeah, I'm going to repeat it here. And I'm going to unzoom so that you can see the whole thing. So let's say here right now, yeah. So let's say here right now, dalam harta pusaka, let's say now you need the details of the simati, right? Okay. Rest of deal. So let's say here, I need the name of the pemohon. What you can do is you can click right click, press command. When you press command, you can actually click add. Let's say I want deal, right? So I want deal and click assign. Okay, please enter your name. So let's say Dale is my client, right? So I want him to enter his name here. So click assign. So what would happen is Google will say assign to Fadil, and Fadil will get a email stating that he has been assigned to a task which he has to complete. So yeah, you see how Dale will be able to answer to my comment. Yes, he will do it. So once he does it, I will be able to click resolve and it will be hidden already. So you see, yeah, so you see how he's helping me to fill this up now. And let's say I need a document. So you see how I need a document for the exhibit, right? So again, you can either right click or you can, if you highlight it here, this symbol will show up. So let's say I said, hi Imran. Okay. Hi Imran, please give me this document. Okay. So he will know that he will need to fill this up and then he can email me the document as well. So this is a very nice collaborative tool because you will be able to see what they are doing. So let's say now this is your LA or your client and you see that, oh, okay, I don't think that this formatting is what I want, right? Okay, I'm going to zoom it again. So let's say this is not the formatting that you want. You can change it. You can change it right there and then. You can put this up. Let's say you're working with your LA. You can put this up and say, okay, let's say Anis, right? Let's say Anis is my LA. So Anis, please double check this IC. So if she check it, then she can click, done. So I know that it has been done already. So that's why I think Google Docs is a very powerful collaborative tool that you can use.
Melissa, can I just pause you for a question?
Sure.
You know how, let's say I have a client, but I don't want whatever my client to do to become permanent. Because let's say he makes an error and he erases part of my document. Can I make sure that, let's say my LA is allowed to edit, but my client can only suggest changes?
Yeah, definitely possible. So when you click share, right? When you share,
Okay.
yeah, you can allow them. Let's say I want Dale to I want Dale to only be able to comment, and then you to be able to edit. So
Okay.
when you are a commentator, all you can do is to comment, put comments in there and suggest. Yeah. But
Okay.
if you are the editor, then you will be able to edit everything. If you are the viewer, then you can only view. So that would be good if you just want your client to approve that draft. You don't want them to change anything else. So just approve it. Yeah. So you can put like viewer only.
Okay, but we can't control whether once they can edit, we can't control whether they can suggest or they can actually edit. That one we can't control, right?
Yeah, but
It's supposed to them to just suggest.
Yeah, but one good thing about Google Doc is you can actually click File, Version History, and you will be able to see the version. So you see how in the beginning, it was just me. Sorry, shouldn't show that one first. Yeah, you see how in the beginning, this is just me, and it says here my name. But once Dale jumped in, there is Melissa Lim and Fadil's name here, and then you can see what are the changes that Dale made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I will be able to see what are the changes that my clients made and whether I want to accept it or not. If I don't, I can make the changes right here that I can delete it, and then it will create like a new version history. So this will actually eliminate the, the toing and froing, like when you have like an affidavit or a corporate agreement, right? You have a lot of versions and you will name it V1, V2,
You
V3
want
until
to, yes.
V100. Yeah, so instead of that, you will have it all in one particular document, but the version history will have 100 versions lah, which
Yeah.
you can actually name.
Also,
Yeah.
the thing about Google Docs is that it's a document online, right? So it's not that you have to keep emailing them attachment V1, attachment V2. It's just the same link, right?
Yes, correct. So what you can do is you can create, you can name this version. Let's say this is my original, right? So this is version 1, let's say. And then this is, let's say, version 2, because this is the one with my client. So I can name it this way as well. So if you want to name, you can name it here. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is actually just a very short, a very brief introduction to Google Docs. We can show how to format it as well, but the way you format it is actually the same as Microsoft Word. So it's just clicking here, the numbering that you want, and it will automatically number it for you. So it's actually very, very similar to Microsoft Word. So at the end of this, once it is finalized already, what you can do is you can click File and Download. So you can download as Microsoft Word or you can download as PDF. So once it has finalized, we'll probably want it in PDF. And then once it is in PDF, then Imran will show you in the next workshop on how you can, use PDF to put in all the exhibits and to bundle it up. Any more questions about Google Doc?
Yes. So basically, the comments also allows you to talk to your client without WhatsApp or without email. So everything can be resolved on the document, right?
Yeah, there are two ways to communicate with a client. One is here, if you look at this symbol here, it says chat. Yeah, so you can chat with your clients here. So if they have any questions, they can ask you right here instead of WhatsApp.
She's doing a lot of work. Dale is playing a very good client.
Okay, I don't know. It's too funny already. Yeah, so this is a way to do it. But sometimes, some lawyers are like, oh, I need to have a record, of the things that my clients ask me, because if anything happened, I can fall back on, Luna, that day you told me to do this work, correct? No? So yeah, so this chat is good if it is just like questions like this, lawyer too high. But if you want it to be permanent, not permanent, but if you want it to be able to have a record, that is best to go by chat, because after that, you can come to comment history and all of the comments would be here. If it, regardless it has been resolved or not. So if there are any dispute, you can come back to comments and say, yeah, on this date, you said this, please enter. Yeah, and you have. So
The chat works only if people are online at the same time, is it? You can't leave. If you leave it, then the person doesn't see the chat right when they come separately.
Yeah, the chat only works when you guys are online. If you leave this document, that it will be erased. And then the next time you go into the same document, this chat will still be empty. It
Okay.
will be empty, yeah, because it works like it doesn't have a history on that, yeah. Doesn't have chat
Okay.
history.
Next question is, do I need Gmail? If my client says, "Oh, Anis, I don't have Gmail. What do I do?"
Yeah, actually I'm using Hotmail here.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, because so if let's say you don't have a Gmail account, but remember when I press share here,
Yes.
okay, so you see how here are all Gmail, and then suddenly I'm like this little snowflake here with Hotmail. So if you have it in this shared you have already shared it to them in for this particular email, all they need to do is to click into the link and then key in their email address and email and password, and then they'll be able to enter into this document. In fact, you can actually use Gmail for Hotmail, whatever other mail service that you have. You can use Gmail for those as well. So yeah, mine is all now in Gmail, regardless it's Hotmail or Yahoo or whatever.
So I can get a Google Drive even with a Hotmail account. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. I
Oh,
mean, yeah. I mean, this is my
Hotmail
Hotmail,
account. Yeah, you are
yeah,
signed up to email.
and this is my Google Drive. You see.
Okay.
Mm.
For viewers, if you have any comments, please just leave a comment now. If not, I'll just have to keep asking my own questions in the meantime while we wait. Are all this free? All these tools?
Yeah. So Google have, sorry. Google have a few packages. This particular one is free. As you can see here, there are 15 gig storage for you for free. I believe that if you are a sole prop or if you are a small firm of maybe two to three staff or LAs, I think that the free one is good enough for you to use just to start off. And then once you get more used to the Google ecosystem, then it is a good idea to upgrade after that. Yeah, I think like my personal experience is I only upgraded on my second year. Yeah, just because of the storage. Yeah.
The
So I
tool,
think
yeah,
different storage have like
it's a
sorry.
storage problem, right? You only have to buy if it's storage when it's taking up too much space on Google Drive, right? Like the tools, like Google Docs and all that will always be free. It's just storing is a problem if you reach the maximum
Correct.
capacity. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But there are some features, there are some security features that are good for law firms, security features that are good for law firms in the paid versions. So things like, let's say, for example, this Google Doc, right? I want it to, I mean, it's a good collaborative tool, but sometimes, let's say I want my clerk, to come in and write the reference number or whatever lah on the doc, right? But I wouldn't want them to be able to share it outside of my law firm because it's still private and confidential. It's not something that I want them to easily share it just but with a link.
Correct.
So with the paid versions, you can actually stop the members in your firm from sharing it outside of the organization. So even if they copy link, right, the link cannot be used. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I think that's a very good privacy, a very good security feature. And if let's say you want to like how I collaborated with Dale and Imran on the Google Doc just now, right? So if it is on a paid version, they will actually need to provide their organization's email address. So it can't be only Gmail. Let's say it is Malaysian Bar, right? Okay, it has to be a at mbar.org uh, email, which I must pre-approve first in the admin features so that they will be able to see this document and collaborate with me in this document. So
Okay.
those are the good features from paid packages lah. If you are using free one, then I would suggest a very rigorous risk management procedure in place so that you will be able to mitigate all of these problems.
The good thing is that you always have to give access yet, right? Even in the free version. So even
Yeah,
if you share the link, that's the access portion, right?
Correct. So here, be careful of this part here because there are two. One, anyone with the link and restricted. So always make sure that it is restricted because anyone means that literally anybody who has that link will be able to get into this Google Doc. So as long as it is restricted, it is good enough. And if let's say I shared, because just now I shared it to, let's say, Dil and Imran, right? And they share it to someone else. Okay. Once they share it to someone else, that person will not be able to see unless they are listed here. So me as the owner, I will be able to see if, let's say, Dale sent it to someone else and he approved it, then I will be able to see here. And at any time, I will be able to remove access. Yeah. So once I remove access, they won't be able to see as well.
Okay. I missed the question by Dale just now. I'm so sorry, Dale. Dale's question was, what do we do with existing clients if I want their information on the Google Forms? Since they're not new.
Definitely, yeah, but definitely can be used because you just need to give them the link to the Google form. And I think for existing clients, right, you would have more information about, a better idea on what you need from them, right? So the form can be curated in a more specific way so that they will give you the exact information that you need. The one just now is quite general because it may be the first the initial point of contact with a client that you don't know anything about. So that would actually be a good starting point. Then from there you will be able to carry back through email or another Google form. So you can create like a few different forms if you would like to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. I think that
Okay.
brings us to the end of the webinar section. Before we end, Melissa, do you want to share with us your Discord and just show how it works?
Oh, yeah. Let me just
Personally, even I'm not very familiar with Discord, so I'm learning something new as well.
Yeah, I will just show some parts because it's actually a bit private and confidential as well. So this Discord server is a community. Actually, I'm trying to build a better lawyer and tech community, and it is basically a place where you can share tech tips and talk about tech, right? If let's say you have a problem and you need a solution, you can go on Discord and ask rather than Telegram. So the reason why I chose Discord is because it's more streamlined instead of Telegram where it's everywhere and you have to search and sometimes you can't find it. So yeah, that's why I chose Telegram. Let me just show, what can I show? Okay, I'll just show this part here. So this is how Telegram looks like.
Discord, right?
Telegram, sorry, Discord. So this is how the Discord server look like. When you first join in, you will only be able to see this lobby part because we want to make sure that only lawyers are able to join in. Sorry, I shouldn't be showing that as well. So once you are in the Discord and we have approved you, so it's like Facebook group, right? Where you have to key in your member account, your MBAR number, and then we will need to verify you first, and then you will be able to see the group. So it works that way for Discord as well. So once we have approved you, then you will be able to see all of this here. And we actually have quite a lot of channels. I'm just going to remove this. So Lounge is where you can just chat about anything. We have circular court updates, where people just update stuff, and then you can search here for anything that you want. We have legal articles if you have any. Bulletin board is for events. Okay, so this is today's one. And then convey notices. Convey notices are for convincing all the notices from the courts or the PTG or the developer, anything.
It's like Facebook, but basically you have streamlined it into different chat rooms, so you can go to the specific one and address your questions there, right?
Yeah, correct. So it's easier for people, you see. We have this thing called workshops recording as well. because we are holding workshops there too. So the first one that we held was Microsoft Word formatting. And then once we hold that workshop, it will be recorded and then we will post it here. So that's where people can go in. So we have tech tips, we have Windows. But I think what is important is actually the IT feedbacks. So you can actually give a feedback on, let's say, the e-filing system, the e-appellate, e-hearing, any court feedbacks that you want to have. You can actually put it in here with the screenshot, because I was actually thinking about compiling it and then bringing it up to like any subcommittees, when they ask for. So when they put up the survey, I will be able to do this instead of like thinking, what to put in, at the end of the year.
Okay.
We have this AMBA directory as well. So because we know that especially during this MCO, there have been a lot of open and closed circulars. So we just put it in here whenever we receive that. And the last one, I think, is the most important one is actually these projects. So at any time somebody wants to suggest a project, a workshop, or let's say they want to come up with a legal tech product and they need developers, they can actually come to project, suggest it, and we will be able to help them on creating that. So that is actually how the Microsoft Word workshop came about, because somebody suggested it and then we made it happen.
Okay. How do we join your Discord server, Melissa?
I can give the link. I'm not too sure how. I can give the link and maybe we can put it in the description later. Yeah, this is the link to the Discord server. We can put it in the description later, I guess.
Okay. All right. Maybe Dale can help us with that, sharing the link. Okay. Before there's one last question on the Google Docs that I missed just now, Melissa. I'm a bit dumb. Sorry, Dale. Someone asked, "Hi, can those who have access save the document someplace else? So can my client then go and save it onto their computer?"
Yeah, they can actually. That's why you need the if you are using Google Docs, I would recommend you to use the paid version, because with the paid version you can stop that as well. They cannot download, they cannot comment, they cannot share it to anyone else. So that is something that Google Docs, the paid version of Google Docs can do for you. Otherwise, if you are on, I think I'm not too sure about this, but I think if you are on Viewer, you won't be able to share. So if let's say you are on Viewer, then you won't be able to share. But I'm not sure whether I can download. Yeah, I can still download. So even if I'm given the least sharing option, which is Viewer, I'm still able to download it. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, if it's your client and you are emailing it to them anyway, they will still, when you email them, they will still need to download it too. So
correct. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, I think we can now wrap up the webinar. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your time.
Thank you.
I learned a lot. I'm sure all our members also learned a lot. We really appreciate you sharing your Saturday morning with us. Also, of course, thank you to our kind assistants, Dale and Imran. We will definitely be seeing Imran next week. So tune in for that if you want to learn about PDFs. So I hope everyone has a very good Saturday. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. I'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.